My name is Shubham Patel and I am going to teach you one of the most important tools currently in the market for data analysis, and that is Microsoft Excel. So most of you might have familiar or earlier used Microsoft Excel, but in this course you will be getting through all the fundamentals of different Excel features including formulas and functions scenarios so that your skill set get much improved and you can save your time at your workplace. There are a lot of modules and topics has been included from basic to advanced. In this video, we will be getting started with Microsoft Excel application fundamentals, or you can say basic Excel. So let's start. When you open Excel for the first time or you open it regularly, you will see a blank Excel worksheet. Let's discuss the basic fundamental first. On the top left side of this application, you will see a small icon of save. We can add more icons to this space or a. This is called quick access toolbar. Next to it, you can see the file name and you can also save your document to OneDrive. On the center of this application, you will find a search bar. On the top right corner, you will see three icons, that is minimize, restore and close button. Then you have all the tab names. Some of the most common tabs or ribbons you can see which are available in your version as such as file tab, which is a kind of a backstage view where you can go through the fundamentals settings of the Excel file, like you can open a new Excel file or you can download some templates. You can open some existing files which is located in your hard drive, or you can save or save as. You can print a particular worksheet or workbook, or you can share with the other. You can also export it or you can publish it to the web. Then here you can see some more tabs which are available, like home tab, insert tab, page layout, formulas, data review, view. Every ribbon contains some multiple groups. Now, what do we mean by group? These are basically contain some features of Microsoft Excel for specific purposes. For example, if I write my name in C2 and if I want to make it a bold, so I will go to home tab. Then this is a font group where we have some font related features. If I want to make it bold, I will click on bold, or I can use the shortcut key Control plus B. So this is how we use Excel features by clicking just on it, and all the features are certainly in the group. For example, if we want to do some number formatting, so we have the number group and we can see that either I can transform this number into a percentage, or I want to do comma formatting or decimal formatting, increasing or decreasing, or I want to do some currency formatting as well. So this is a number group. Now the group are of two types. Some of the groups have also further features hidden and we can explore them with the dialog window, and some of the groups does not have the further options available. For example, if you can see a styles group in which we have three features available: conditional format, format as table, and cell style. Whereas the features which are hidden, it has an icon in the group of bottom right side. So if you compare styles group and a number group, you can see that a small arrow on bottom right side of this particular group. So when you click on this button, a specific button, a dialog window is open of that particular group, and you have further options available there. Some of the groups have that off for their further option window dialog window, some don't have. Now then we have in this application interface, we have a name box. So when a user is active on a particular cell, the name box shows that the cell address of that address. Then we have a formula bar. So whatever we write, either text, numbers, or any formula or function in a particular cell, and we go to that active cell. So formula bar shows whatever written in it, and we can edit the formula function from here as well, right? The structure of this spreadsheet contains two main things. The first thing is the column and the second is rows. So the columns are being defined by the alphabets, and it starts from A and it ends at X of T. So there are almost 16,384 columns in one Excel worksheet. And imagine that you can insert more than one worksheet as well in a workbook. And if you talk about the rows, so the rows starts indistinguished with the numbers. So it starts from 1 and it goes to more than 1 million approximately. So when I press control down arrow I can go and check the exact number of rows available. Microsoft Excel. So you can see that 1048576, and the intersection of columns and rows creates cells. So there are more than 17 billion cells in one Excel worksheet. So every cell address is different. For example, if I go to this particular cell, I will call it H3. If I go to this particular cell, it will call it A1. So every cell address has a different, cell has a different address right now. Now, let's talk about the hierarchy of this application. So once you open Microsoft Excel and you work on it, you save the file, you call it a workbook, and the default extension of the workbook is .xlsx. Then when you open a workbook, it contains several worksheets. Minimum one worksheet is required to work on MS Excel, and in the worksheet we have some arrays, two different kind of arrays. Now what is array means? It means the group of cells. So when a user select more than one cell, multiple cells, it is called an array. And there are two types of arrays. Number one are adjacent and number two are non-adjacent. It also being said as contiguous and non-contiguous. So more preferred word is adjacent and non-adjacent. Now what is mean by that? How do we distinguish between two different types of arrays? So let me create a sample data for you, and then I will explain it to you. So I am just creating a random numbers to get the quick data. So I am using the ran between function, and I will write a minimum value at a maximum value to get some random numbers out of this range. Now I have a data. Let's call this sample as our data, and how we distinguish that it's an adjacent or non-adjacent. So if data is combined all together, there are no such gaps, like there is no entire blank column or a blank row in this particular data set. It is called as adjacent data. Now, for example, if you ask that if I delete a certain cell and it contains nothing, right? So is it still be said as a adjacent data? Yes, the answer is yes, because it's still together. But if I add one entire blank column or entire blank row, now this data is not an adjacent data. It will be called as non-adjacent because now data has been split into different parts. So we have got some idea about that how the array is being distinguished between adjacent and non-adjacent. So again, as we are discussing about the introduction of Excel in this video, let's also discuss about what is a formula and what is the function. So formula is basically when a user made any kind of a logic to get the answer. So the user makes some functions like two or three functions. So it will also called a formula. It's a user made logic. Now, whereas the function is called built-in, which is available with some specific set of instruction in it, so that function work. Now, let's have an example for formula and a function. For example, if I write two numbers and I want to add these two numbers, so remember that whenever you write a formula or function, you start with an equal sign. If you don't start with an equal sign, it will not give you the calculation or the output. So we started with an equal sign, and here I have selected within my arrow keys H9 and a plus sign expression and then H10. So it gives me an output of 60. Whereas again I want to get the total of these two numbers. So I'm using equals to sum this time. I'm writing some kind of a spelling and I'm selecting a range. And it still gives the same answer because data is same. Now here, in the first example, H9 is adding to the H10, whereas Excel does not give any instruction to the user. User defined has itself with the logic that if he adds two cells, he will get the desired number. So this is the logic which is entirely created by the user itself. This is called the formula. Whereas in another cell, you use something like equals to, then a certain spelling, and you are following a structure in terms of argument. So this is a function which has a set of instructions built in it, right? So every function in Excel which is built in has a different kind of set of instructions and arguments. Some of them are compulsory and optional, and if the user followed that function correctly, it will give the right answer. Otherwise, it will give an error. Okay? So this is the difference between a formula and a function. Next, we will discuss about the how many cell references are there in Microsoft Excel, because as we have discussed that every cell has a certain address, right? So there are 6 different kinds of cell addresses, and we will be discussing them in the next video, whereas the most common are relative and absolute cell reference. Might be you have used it earlier. So in our next video, you will get the example for relative and absolute cell references. And then if we talk about more about the structure of this first particular video, you can do different types of formatting for cells. Just go to format cells. And if you can set the cell formatting in terms of number, currency, accounting, date, time, or custom, you can do a lot of formatting here in this set also. You can rename the sheets. We will also learn about different kinds of formulas and functions and very much detail with the scenarios. So all the functions are available in the formulas tab, and there are now more than 450 functions in Microsoft Excel. So you can imagine that every kind of user from every industry is now being using Excel. So Excel is kind of a mandatory application for your job as well. And if you use Excel in advance and create something like dashboards or financial models or any other kind of use reports, definitely it gives you a not just a monetary advantage, but it will make your career ladder more faster than others. So I hope this introduction is enough for this particular video, and see you in the next video. Thank you.